Hello, my name is Aidan and welcome to another Golf Predictor video tutorial. In this video I shall be talking about how you can easily compare the prediction stats for golfers in the field for a particular tournament. Some of this functionality is so new that the announcement for the enhancements to this page are still near the top of the page. Some major enhancements to the compare pages only went live yesterday, and I shall be talking about these great new features in just a few minutes. Before we do that, let's just talk a little about why we need these pages. To do that, let's go to the predictions menu and go to the main rankings page. If you do that, you will be brought to the following page, which as usual I have preloaded on a separate tab. Looking at this page, say for example you wanted to compare the stats of Jordan Spieth, who's ranked number 1, Adam Scott, who's ranked number 9, and Henrik Stenson, who's ranked number 11th. You have a number of manual options that you can employ. You can just use the page as is and try to filter out everyone else's data in the rows, which is quite difficult. This also would be impossible if the golfers you were interested were on different pages of the data table. You could also right-click on each golfer and open their data page in a different tab or in a new window and try to directly compare using that method. Or finally, you could copy and paste this table information into Microsoft Excel or another spreadsheet and manually delete all the rows you weren't interested in, and then use the spreadsheet to analyze your chosen golfers. The same issue exists on the form pages. For example, if you go to the form menu and press on the same course form, you'll be brought to the following page, also preloaded on a separate tab. And here again, you have exactly the same issue when you want to compare golfers. So how do we get around these problems? Well, the good news is it's very easy to do on Golf Predictor with the compare golfer functionality. So to access that, you go to the predictions menu and press on the compare predictions option. And that will bring you to the following page, which I have preloaded on a separate tab. On this page, you can select the golfers of interest. So for demonstration purposes, we'll stick with the 3 golfers that I mentioned earlier, Spieth, Scott, and Stenson. So find them in the list there, close together, all beginning with S. Press Ctrl to select more than one golfer. We'll talk about the stats to compare drop down in a few seconds, but we'll leave it at overview for the moment. And when we're happy with our golfer selections, they will press compare stats, compare golfer button. And here we see that we've got the 3 golfers that we were interested in, Scott, Spieth, and Stenson. And we have a variety of columns here with different stats. Again, there's a key for the stats under columns underneath the data table. And because there wasn't enough real estate on the table for a golfer name, we used the golfer ID. And to see which IDs correspond to which golfers, you can hover over the golfer ID, and it will show you there Adam Scott is 591. Or you can refer to this handy key above the table, which shows you the golfer name with his ID. And also, as you can see there above, the golfer ID is in the golfer list just after the golfer name. So you can see there's a lot of information here for each of your chosen golfers, and as with the previous update to the compare predictions page, there is also color coding to help you see who is the best and worst in each of the metrics. So for example, the best in each metric is in red and the worst is in blue. So we see there for world ranking that Adam Scott is the worst world rank of the 3 golfers we've chosen at number 11, while Jordan Spieth is the best at number 2. So there is a lot of information that you can see at a glance. Now also, when you select more than one golfer from the competing golfers list box, you also get a list of chart links, so we can compare the golfers visually. So for example, if you want to press on world ranking and you see the chart pops up in the dialog box, and you can see, as discussed previously, Adam Scott's got the worst world ranking out of the trio of golfers that we are comparing. hovering over a bar as normal gives you more information, such as his actual world ranking and the number of average world ranking points that he has. In this case, it's a world ranking of 11 for Scott, and 5.19 is his ranking points. So we can see there that Jordan Spieth, out of the three golfers, has got the highest world ranking at number 2, which we could expect after his tremendous season so far. So when we're finished looking at the chart, we can just close it and go back to the page. So there are a lot of charts that you can visually compare the golfers on. Now I'd like to talk a bit about the brand new functionality that just went live yesterday on this page, and this is the addition of this stats to compare this box. And this allows you to choose much more stats than were initially available on this page. Before yesterday, these were the only stats that you could directly compare for your chosen golfers. But now we've got a huge array of extra stats that you can also compare very easily. And to do that, we just go to the Stats to Compare drop-down list and click on the arrow. This shows the new stats that are available to compare for your chosen golfers. The first 5 options there correspond to the first 5 options on the form menu. So you can check out the season form, the last 5 events form, the same course and tournament, and the last 12 similar events form for just your chosen golfers. And the final option there is just your miscellaneous option, where we compare the TFS information from DraftKings for each of your golfers, their performance likelihood, and their winless and cut streaks. So there are quite a number of new stats that you can compare on this page now, complete with their own charts. So for example, we looked at the same course form page a few minutes ago, so we just choose this option from the menu and then click on the Compare Golfers button. If you do that, the page will reload, and now you have the stats for the same course with the associated charts. So for example, if you wanted to see graphically who has the most top 10s on the same course out of your selected golfers, you click on the top 10s link and the chart will come up, shows you that just Jordan Spieth doesn't have any top 10s. Adam Scott is the leader, and if you hover over his bar, you see that he has had 3 top 10s in total from 5 tournaments in the last 5 years. So pretty good performance there from Scott. So we press close again. So you see here that the columns here match exactly the columns that are on the main course form page. The only difference in this page is that you're only looking at the golfers that you have selected. So this is a very handy way of just drilling down and seeing just the stats for just the golfers that you're interested in and directly comparing them. Again, each column is color coded to show you who's the best and who's the worst in each of the metrics. So for example, you can see there that Adam Scott is best in nearly all the metrics, or tied best in all the metrics except for his rank and his standard deviation. So from a course point of view, Adam Scott will be the best to pick from these 3 big guns. Okay, so that's the compare page. If you select any other option from the stats to compare drop-down list, you will get the relevant stats shown with more of the appropriate chart links. So in total there are now 57 charts on this page when you consider all the options on the stats to compare drop-down list and all the charts on each option. It should be noted that unless you're a subscriber, you will not be able to see all the stats for all of the golfers. You will be restricted in the golf list to those ranked 11 to 25 in the GP rankings, and you will only be able to see 1 out of 57 charts. So I would encourage you to subscribe to Golf Predictor to get the most out of these very useful comparison statistics. Okay, so finally we'll just mention the other compare predictions page that is available, and this is the T groups version of this page, or the T off groups version. And to access that, we just go to the predictions menu and click on the compare predictions TG option. And if you do that, you'll be brought to the following page. And as you scroll down here, you see that this page is almost identical to the main comparison page, except for the way you select the golfers. Instead of selecting any 10 golfers you like, you now can only choose from the tee-off groups. These tee-off groups become available usually on the Tuesday of a tournament, so they get imported into Golf Predictor, and this page then lists each of the tee-off groups in this drop-down list, and you can select each with the one of interest. Again, you can select the stats you're interested in, either the overview or the form stats or the DFS stats, and then compare them as before. To finish, we will just go to the stats to compare drop-down and select the DFS option, which is the last option. You will not be able to see this because of the limitations of the screen recording software, but just to note that I am selecting the last option in the list. You can see there DFS, PL and the streaks option. Then we will select, for example, a better grouping. So for example, group number 16 is Dustin Johnson and Bubba Watson, Battle of the Bombers. Okay, so we'll compare the golfers by pressing the button. The page reloads, and now we've got Bubba and Dustin and their DFS information on the right hand side, their world ranking, their cut streak, their winless streak. And you can see that Dustin's cut streak is at 9 while Bubba is only at 1, and so on and so forth. So you can see at a glance the DFS information of your selected golfers and who is the best and worst in each category. And as before, there are relevant chart links as well. So if you want to compare the golfers visually, for example on their DraftKings salary, you see there that hovering over the bar gives you more information. That DJ's salary is 10,800, whereas Bubba's is 9,500. So that's just a quick visual comparison of that. So as you see, there are a lot of stats and charts on this page now, and it'd be really useful for your DFS, fantasy golf or betting needs. Note that you must be a subscriber to see the tee-off groups version of this page. So again, I would strongly suggest that you consider subscribing to Golf Predictor to get the most out of these comprehensive comparison statistics. Okay, well that's about it for this tutorial. I hope you found it useful, and thanks for watching.